Hi, I'm Lisa Dalton, and welcome to Michael Chekhov, the NMCA Way. And our topic today is POA, Practice, Observe, Apply, process that the NMCA has developed in order to bring you to a level of mastery of Michael Chekhov's technique. So, the idea of this is coming from requests to understand more about how to work with the POA Journal, which can be found on chekhov.net in the resources section. To begin, it is my belief that the Michael Chekhov technique is an exercising path and it's a life path. And as a life path, it is something that really can benefit from a regular practice. The process of engaging in Michael Chekhov's exercising is something that can help open up wonderful experiences for you, even if you only do them once. And you may recall for even your lifetime, your first experiences with the exercises. However, fundamentally, at the heart of the training, it is a training for a person who is involved in sports. And what I mean by that is it is a physically active and psychologically active skill set, which requires active practice. So if you are going to be a dancer, which is very athletic, you need to dance every day. And every day you will do your pliés and your battements and your jetés. And if you are a football player, you're going to do your workout, you're going to do your drills, your exercises. You're going to also work on your plays, the playbook, for learning why jumping through tires as a drill is going to help you in the game itself. If you are a singer, a professional singer, you need to work with your voice every day. If you're a professional musician, you need to work with your instrument every day. And so as a performing artist, this is our instrument, and daily work on it will make a massive change. So how do we get ourselves motivated, and how do we get started, and what is it that we should be doing or could be doing in order to build up a certain level of mastery? And like a bodybuilder, the first year of training really requires daily practice. And it's practice that alternates which muscles you are building. And if you actually were to commit to a full year of training, at the end of 1 year, you would have built up enough definition and strength to be able to skip a few days. You would have, if you practiced your piano every single day for a year, you would have a certain skill set or a language, anything. If you did it every single day over 1 year, you would build quite a repertoire of strength in that area. And so that's my suggestion, that if you are starting out with Michael Chekhov's technique and you are working quite a bit by yourself without a class, a group, team, an ensemble to work with on a regular basis, this is the path that I highly recommend. If you do a POA every day, even 6 days a week, maybe take 1 day off. If you do that every day for a year, you will become a master Chekhov practitioner. So, what is the POA? POA stands for practice, observe, apply. When we practice, we get our actual process of moving the body and the imagination and the breath as a single unit. we engage in just one tool or ground, and such as expansion. And we would practice that actual process of expanding, working with our energy body and our imagination, creating a unity of imagination and body, and really working to expand in a multitude of ways. And that would be the practice part, the actual process of building up your ability to feel the actual expansion and to allow it to move and to have the imagination impact the body, and using sound and allowing and cultivating the ability of the expansion to impact your sound as well. For the O of POA, we have observe. And so the idea here is to observe that tool or concept in the world around you. This process invites you to look at nature, or to look at another human being, or to watch an animal. You can even watch something on television if you like, and see if you can observe or identify the expansion process, the expanding that is happening there. When you see how that flower is expanding, open, this is an observation, and you want to make little notes about what you observed. And then you have the application, and this is different than the observation. The observation is seeing something that is existing and doing the tool without any knowledge of Chekhov. Okay, it's just happening. It's happening in nature, or a person is doing it, or the traffic is doing it, or the clouds are doing it. And they know nothing of Chekhov, but you see that there is an expansion of energy happening, and you observe that. And then we have the apply, and the application process is where you consciously choose to do an activity, also could be called an etude, which while you are in the process of expanding. So if it's in the morning, for example, I could be brushing my teeth, and I could be working on the concept of expanding while brushing my teeth. In the middle of the afternoon, maybe I'm eating my lunch, and I notice, and I purposely am expanding as I eat my lunch. In the evening, I need to gas up my car. So I'm going to get out of my car, consciously, intentionally expanding out of the car. I'm going to expand my credit card into the machine there. I'm going to expand the pump away from its cradle. I'm going to expand it into the car. I am going to imagine that the gasoline tank is being expanded with gas. I'm going to expand the nozzle away from my car, and I'm going to expand further away from my car as I hang the nozzle up. I'm going to expand my hand to take the receipt. I'm going to expand the car door, and I'm going to expand myself into the car. So this would be my application of expansion. So hopefully now we understand the difference between practice, observe, and apply. The basic structure of your POA journal, which can be found if you have a Michael Chekhov technique playbook. If you've taken the course, this is available for a big discount when you enroll in an NMCA class. And it has a copy of the POA sheet, and it has the explanations that I am giving you. So It's also available, as I said, on chekhov.net under resources. The top of that sheet asks us to select a tool for the day. So my suggestion is that on Mondays, for example, you pick 6 tools that you want to work on this week. Expansion for Monday, contraction for Tuesday, molding for Wednesday, flowing for Thursday, flying for Friday, and radiating for Saturday. And you take Sunday off. So each morning you work for 5 minutes doing the actual tool of the day and really engaging your imagination, as I said earlier, body, mind, spirit. And then in the morning, you take at least 1 minute to observe that tool in the world around you. Again, you don't do anything to make it happen. You notice something that is actually doing that tool. And then you take 1 more minute to do your application where you actually do a task. Like I said before, maybe it's getting dressed, maybe it's brushing your teeth, something like that. Practical thing, you have to do it anyway. So you might as well be an artist and have a life of continuous artistry and use these everyday moments of your life to help you become a master at Michael Chekhov's work. So then at around the noontime, 2 more times, right? So you do another observation and another application. And then in the evening, another observation and an application. And then if it's possible, to take a few moments to reflect for the day, to fill in on your sheet what you've done, your 5 minutes that you practiced, or however many minutes it was, and then what your observation was, how you applied it in the morning, your observation and application for the middle of the day, and your observation application in the evening, and then what did you discover? What did you discover by doing this today? So making some notes about that, that's a little bit of a reflection for you. So repetition, we know, is the growing power. But repetition without reflection can simply feed a bad habit. It makes whatever you repeat stronger. But if what you're repeating isn't improving, isn't being refined, then you could just be ingraining a bad habit. So reflecting on this process so that you can refine it for the future is a very important thing. Repetition, followed by reflection, followed by refinement for the next repetition. So now let's talk a little bit about the deeper elements that are at play here. In Michael Chekhov's guiding principles, he suggests that if we do not understand how a particular tool or technique will help free our talent, we probably won't feel like using it very much. So this process, this POA process, will help you understand more deeply. When you observe the process out in the world, it engages your thinking forces. And when you apply it, you are absolutely engaging the feeling forces and the will forces for building a feel for how to do this, how to bring it into your basic activity. And when you do the actual exercising part, again, that's very much, and the whole POA process is an act of building your will force. And it builds your will to be a practicing Oscar acceptor. Okay, POA, practice Oscar acceptance. If you do this, you will become a practicing organic artist. We don't turn our artistry off when we brush our teeth, and we don't turn it off when we go to sleep. It continues to work on within us. And knowing that I have committed in this morning to look at contraction this morning and in the middle of the day and in the evening, that commitment to me is living in me all day long. And maybe I need to set an alarm 3 times to remind me to do my POA. Have I done my POA today? Maybe that's what it takes. That would be great. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you didn't have to? If you just loved your artistry so much and you just loved the Chekhov technique so much that you really just wanted to do it. And you, like I said, you don't have to do it for very long. 5 minutes, 1 minute in the morning, that's 7 minutes. 2 more minutes in the middle of the day, that's 9 minutes. And 2 more minutes in the evening, that's 11 minutes. And a few minutes for reflection, 15 minutes a day. And it will make a major change in who you are as an artist, how confident you feel as an artist. You will come to own and to really love who you are as an artist and being an artist. Now I'm going to just look at, and it's on page 34, by the way, for anyone who has the book. And I'm just going to read to you some of the reasons to do this, in case I haven't convinced you already. We convince our everyday mind that these concepts indeed have value to us as artists. We train our voice and our body to reflect images. Now, that training our voice and body to reflect images is the antidote to that terrible situation that happens when you get a great idea and you go to do it and it just doesn't come out that way. That is a major mismatch. It is a miscommunication between your body and your imagination. And doing these exercises will heal that gap. Okay? You will build a toolbox of resources for getting great images and that you can then reflect. You will gain the most rapid and deep understanding of these ideas so that you can eventually use them instinctively and unconsciously. And that's what's happening when we are in those peak performances. We are just flowing with instinct, inspiration, and unconsciously all the tools are being engaged. When we're in that center spot of inspiration, we're not having to do any conscious thought of a tool. If we slide out, we go to the tool, focus and concentrate on the tool, and it brings us right back into that center point. And you will be able to develop a rapid analysis of external images in preparation for rapid synthesis of internal images in order to express our images of the character. Well, that's a big mouthful, isn't it? Well, here's the deal. What we're saying is, one of the highlights of Michael Chekhov's technique is the idea that we can travel into a sphere of unlimited imagination where the character exists. And we can connect with the character either through our visualization, through our hearing the character, through our kinesthetic senses, through any means that we can. It might not just be like watching a video. There are many ways for us to connect with the character, and we can dialogue with them. We can zoom in on who they are and what their bodies are. And when we have practiced finding expansions in the world, finding contractions in the world, when we can look, glance, and quickly identify any of these tools expressed out in the world, the moment we make contact with the image, we also can identify the degree of expanding, contracting of that image. Is the image molding, flowing, flying, or radiating? Is there a push, pull, lift, smash, gather, throw? Where is the center? What is the imaginary body? What is the gesture? When you have practiced looking at the gesture of buildings and the gesture of trees and the gesture of a person on the other side of the park, when you have practiced that and noted that, then when you go to your inner world and you encounter the character, you will also be able to instantly translate what that character is through the terms and tools of the technique. So I'm going to read that one more time so you can hear it now. You will develop rapid analysis of external images in preparation for rapid synthesis of internal images in order to express our images of the character. And finally, this process will awaken a life of continuous artistry. And that is a central premise in Michael Chekhov's work, that we have the art of continuous acting. We are always an actor. We are always a teacher, if that's what we are. We are always a director, if that's what we are. In the same way that if we're a photographer, when I look at you, I am also noticing the light, and I'm looking at the frame, and I'm thinking, if I were photographing this, there's part of me in the back of my mind that is looking at you right now as a photographer would. If I am a photographer, that would be happening over dinner, right? That will be happening when we go on a hike through the woods. It's just living within you. Whatever your art is, lives continuously in you, and cultivating that. That is our central goal. So it is, again, my belief that if you commit to 11 minutes a day to be a POA, you will be a practicing, observant artist. And you will have a level of mastery of the Michael Chekhov technique that will last you for the rest of your life. So one of the really wonderful things that we love to have you do is join the National Michael Chekhov Association Facebook page, which is open. And it's spelled all the way out, National Michael Chekhov Association Facebook page. And you can post your POAs on there. And you can ask advice, and you'll have 500 people who might give you some answers or more. So thank you for joining us today. I am, again, Lisa Dalton, and I hope that you do some POAs, post them in the chat below if you like, post them, and do like and recommend the videos. Thank you.
My favorite person is...
One minute on your imaginary bodies.
We took a scene from Golden Boy. We all did the same scene.